Just say like something like iglü is amazing.
Yeah.
Just like something like short and punchy.
Like a Steve Jobs or like.
Yeah.
What's iglü? Ooh. Wrong.
Igloo is the future. It's pretty amazing, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Iglü is our smart home app or smart home system of the future.
Iglü is the core that ties together your future home.
Igloo is your home in your pocket.
Iglü is a smart home application we have been developing for the last 6 months of our university career.
It's essentially supposed to be a smart home system of the future, and so it lets you control all of your devices, your heating,
Monitor your energy usage and consumption. It'd be fantastic.
and it's all meant to be in this one seamless system so that you can control all of it from one place.
We are a group of software developers, software engineers, and like-minded creators who've all come together to bring you the future of smart home technology. At Nacdlow, we strive for excellence in security, transparency, quality, and comfort. We focus on user experience. We put you first. We are Nacdlow, and Iglü is our newest product. I'm Ruri. I'm one of the organizational managers and Gantt chart manager, and I've been working on both front end and back end of the Iglü application.
My name's Aman. I am one of the technical managers as well as one of the organizational managers of Nacdlow. I've been responsible for setting up meetings, working on various components.
I'm Naman and I am one of the technical managers of Nacdlow. I worked on the front end side of things.
I'm one of the organizational managers at Nacdlow, and I was in charge of things like meetings and taking care of our wiki pages. I also did some graphic design work, such as creating this roller banner, and I'm also the person behind the camera right now.
Hello, I'm Hamid and I'm the project leader and technical lead on this project. I worked mostly on the back end of our smart home system and on our various tools and side projects such as the iglü OS, documentation generation and the plugin API.
Hi, I'm Mark, I'm the liaison for Nacdlow. My main responsibilities included creating the company website nacdlow.com, handling the marketing aspects of the project and keeping in constant communication with our manager, providing progress updates and arranging meetings.
For the front-end framework, we have used HTML, CSS and JavaScript. To make the UI development slightly less time-consuming, as a group we decided on using a front-end framework, and we chose Material Design Bootstrap. The framework itself provides a solid foundation for creating the user interface, with a library full of various templates for different website elements, in turn making the front-end development a lot easier and more efficient. We have not, however, relied solely on the library provided by MDB, and have, where necessary, added CSS, HTML and JavaScript of our own to help create a more unique app and further improve the mobile experience. We have made sure not to overlook any of the mobile interactions the user may have, as one of our goals was to have a progressive web application. This has been achieved, and making the web app a PWA has meant after a user has bookmarked the iglü web application, the app will have the same behaviour as a native application from their smartphone's app marketplace.
On the backend, we use various libraries such as the Object Relational Mapping library called XORM. It allows us to easily create schemas and update our database without messing around with SQL queries. This saves us a lot of time and allows us to roll out features faster. We also wanted the system to work offline so we can ensure the user's privacy and reliability of our product, which is why we store all of the data locally on an SQLite database rather than in the cloud. We wanted iglü to last as long as possible. You'd never want your smart home system to be outdated or unsupported after a few years. So we have built a plugin API which allows us to connect all sorts of devices from different vendors to our application. Every day vendors come up with new devices. The plugin system allows us to keep up with the market. So if you buy a new smart home appliance, you can just go to the marketplace, download the plugin and hook it up. The Iglü marketplace is where you can search for plugins, and some of them are paid. These are handled by our Stripe payment gateway. Once you downloaded or purchased a plugin, you're redirected to Iglü, which will ask you to confirm to install the plugin. Plugins are stored in our marketplace repository, and it's structured similar to Linux package manager's repositories. This allows us to test our systems on our developer machines and other systems if we later need to release a different version of our unit running on a different architecture. All plugins on the repository are checksummed, archived, and have a manifest file available. This is done automatically using our plugin packager tool. This allows users to quickly download plugins over the internet and have it validated before running. We also hooked up lights in this room, so using the app we can toggle them on and off. Our plugin system communicates over remote procedure calls, or RPC. So the plugins run as independent processes and it is communicated over network sockets. So in the case a plugin crashes or malfunctions, it does not affect the entire smart home system as a whole, and the plugin just gets restarted. Our smart home system is installed on this 3D printed unit, which contains our Raspberry Pi 0W and is running our custom Linux distribution called iglü OS. We have created iglü OS to speed up setting up these units and to support our hardware changes, as you see we have made to the Raspberry Pi. I don't know if you can see, but sandwiched between the e-ink display and the Raspberry Pi unit is our real-time clock right there, and it's connected with these white wires on the back on these GPIO pins of the Raspberry Pi. This is so that we can keep track of the date and time when the device gets disconnected from power. These functions, including the e-ink display, require additional Linux kernel modules to be loaded and the system to be configured to support these devices. iglü OS comes pre-installed with our iglü server, which is the core of our smart home system, and our e-ink display program as services, so these automatically start when the system boots up. We also enable the Ethernet gadget kernel module, which allows us to plug the iglü unit directly to a computer using a USB cable and to appear as an Ethernet interface. We set up the unit's network interface so that we are able to connect to it via SSH for testing and development purposes. The e-ink display on the unit allows you to quickly see the stats of your power generation, consumption, and the battery power level.
I'm just going to briefly go over our marketing plan for the iglü application. So to begin with, we thought it was important that we did some background research, and the first significant bit of information that we found was that phone usage was on the increase whilst PC usage was declining slightly. Thankfully, portability had already been considered, ensuring that iglü would be available on a range of operating systems and devices. We also found that the smart home market revenue was currently sitting at the highest it had ever been and is expected to continually increase for the next 4 years. The market revenue sat at 2.2 billion in 2017 and now sits at roughly 3.9 billion, an increase of 1.7 billion in just 4 years. By the time 2024 comes around, the smart home market revenue is expected to be about 6.1 billion, showing that the market is forecast to grow more and more, an ideal time to get into the market. Following on from this, an in-depth market analysis took place using the 3 frameworks of pest analysis, SWOT analysis, and Porter's 5 forces. Whilst all 3 of these frameworks generally look at different aspects, there were a couple of key takeaways that were evident in all of them. Firstly, whilst there are many applications currently on the market, most of them focus on specific areas. Some focus on devices but don't include heating settings, and vice versa. Nacdlow, however, focuses on an entire household. Secondly, as we're a new company with no reputation, it may be difficult to attract customers to the application. This is also made difficult due to some of the companies in the market having a worldwide reputation.
Whilst we do currently have an Instagram page which we have been posting to, it is important that we take advantage of social media by creating a page on as many channels as possible to try and increase brand awareness. Moving on to our marketing strategy, we have pinpointed a target market in which we believe are most likely to want to try Igloo. In terms of demographics, people aged between 25 and 44 are the biggest users in the smart home market and will also most likely be the people who make the decisions in their household. This leads us on to our customers, which consist of homeowners and residents, both of which are primary stakeholders. These are the groups of people we will be targeting. However, we also believe that this group of people is too broad, and therefore we have narrowed down the target market slightly. This has been done by focusing on people who fall in the intermediate and higher rate income bands detailed by the Scottish Government. This is due to the increased cost of turning a household into a smart home. Similarly, we would like to focus on people in the UK and USA, as these countries have the biggest household penetration rate and biggest increases in household penetration. We have also pinpointed security as Igloo's unique selling point. Security is not something that applications are centred around, yet our software is. This is because the system will be installed locally at the user's home, and permissions are available within the app to ensure maximum security at all times.
What you've seen so far isn't all that Igloo can do. Igloo is packed to the brim with working features, things like a personalised welcome upon login, showing you the weather for today. Igloo is desktop friendly, tablet friendly, and smartphone friendly for portability. You can add rooms. You can add devices. You can delete rooms. You can delete devices. Scan your home for available devices here. Restrict rooms so that the kids can't access them. Looking for a bit more personalization? Change your avatar picture to this kitten. Rename your devices. Favorite your devices. Move your devices between rooms. Rename your rooms. Bad vision? No problem. Change the font size. Igloo is here to make your life easier. Change account permissions. Delete users. Check the status of your devices in device settings. Export all your data to JSON or XML. You can also register users by generating an invite code here, and then head to the register page. You can turn on and off the main light and temp control directly from the rooms page. We have worked tirelessly as a team the last 6 months to bring you the best smart home application we possibly could. Igloo is something we're all extremely proud of. However, there are some features we just couldn't get working in time for the final deadline. This was due to having to prioritise the most important features of Igloo in order to keep within time constraints. Things we didn't manage to complete are the following. The overview page. Providing a top-down view of the home, we envisioned this utility to show each device in their respective rooms and a heat map of energy consumption throughout the home. Schedules. The ability to create your own automated routines, things like turning the heating on in a specific room at a specific time each day. Account switcher. The account switcher would provide an easy, more family-friendly way of swapping accounts and logging in.
Okay, we've seen the quirks and features of Igloo, but now let's give you a proper demonstration of the application using our demo website, which you can also visit and log into, and also explain why we mentioned Minecraft earlier. Anyway, here's a login page. We log in. Here's a dashboard. As its name suggests, this is the central location where most of the information is shown. The battery status of the home battery storage is shown over here, next to the energy chart, which shows us the power generation in yellow, because it's from the sun, of course, next to the power usage, both in kilowatts. Below these, you have the favorite section, which gives you quick access toggles to your devices, and some tips on how you can save power. Everything on this page is dynamically updated, including the greeting on the top left. Now, let's make our way over to the rooms. On this page we have
Well, the rooms and some quick toggles on these cards as to reduce the number of clicks that it might take for a user to, let's say, turn a light on or off. It also shows a current temperature of the room with a handy dandy indicator of if the room is getting a little hot. Heading into these rooms, we can see that the devices are grouped. This is to avoid having all of them dotted around the screen. The cards also show how long the devices have been on for and when the last time it was switched off. Okay, let's change the font size. It's a bit small for me. Perfect. Iglü also has the ability to use custom fonts, and it also has an option to respect the browser default fonts, in case a person uses their own accessible typeface for websites. On the subject of accessibility, Iglü meets many of the web content accessibility guidelines, meaning that the contrast between text and backgrounds is high, font sizes are large, enough for most users anyway, and with the option to make them bigger or smaller, and it also is compatible with screen readers. It's easy to forget those of us who are less fortunate and require accessibility options, which is why it's one of our top priorities when making Iglü. Right, let's pick up the pace. We're nearing the end of this video. Minecraft, what you've been dying to know about. As previously mentioned, because shipping a future home to Scotland will take a little while, we've recreated something similar in Minecraft in order to demonstrate our application working in a real-world way, hooking up to our plugin API. Alright, let's join the server. Step 1. Buy Minecraft. Step 2. Joining the server. Let's enter the details. demo.nacdlow.com. Here we go. Okay, look, I know we're over the limit, just by a little bit, but there was a lot of important stuff to cover. But don't worry, this is the end. The rest is just credits and bloopers. Anyways, we've had an absolute blast with this project, especially making this video, and we hope you've enjoyed watching our journey. Please do consider heading over to demo.nacdlow.com so that you can view the app in action. And if you have a copy of Minecraft, you can join our Nacdlow server to see how the plugin API allows us to toggle the lights in Minecraft and for it to show up in the web app. Anyway, thank you again and enjoy these bloopers.
And
What was that?
it's okay.
Can you quickly see that stapler or no?
Yeah. Minimum focus distance.
It's not good on me.
Yeah, it's What's Iglü?
Yeah, like, give me a second, I gotta think of what it is.
Yeah, all Beatles.
Oh, that's so nice.
Oh, so mine's the last bit where I'm like, and I'm also the one behind the camera right now, and it just pans to me like, huh?
It will appear as the Ethernet. We also enabled we also kernel module, which allows us to plug the iglü into.